Does Russia want war with NATO, or is Putin distracting from his own domestic woes? Russian drones and missile strikes are hitting NATO territory. How will NATO respond? Elsewhere, Turkey is a NATO country, but Israel is a long-standing ally. Those two countries are experiencing tension as Israel struck a Syrian air base. Joining us is U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Welcome, Ambassador. Wonderful to see you again. Is Putin testing NATO or diverting attention from his own shortcomings?
Good to be with you, Trey. First of all, what is happening from Russia is dangerous and unacceptable. It certainly demonstrates an increasing risk tolerance by Russia and by Vladimir Putin. But I think it's important that you look at the baseline. We have had drone incursions. We have had airspace incursions really since the war in Ukraine started. And, you know, NATO and our allies have continued to improve our air and missile defense, and I think we make sure that we're always getting better. I compare it to, a football team that's always practicing and making sure that week after week they're improving. And that's what's happening right now. Our allies are spending more money and becoming increasingly ready for a fight. But remember, the strength is what's going to guarantee that peace, and we need to make sure that we are always ready and vigilant.
All right, Ambassador, Turkey is a NATO country. Israel is not, but they're a long-standing ally. What's happening between those two countries, and should we be worried or concerned about it?
Well, we have a great relationship with both countries, as you know, and Turkey in NATO is a strong ally with the second largest standing army next to the United States. Germany wants to compete for that accolade, but right now it is Turkey. And what I can tell you is that they are doing everything that the United States wants and expects. We obviously have been in communications with both sides. We don't want conflict. But the region is very volatile right now, as you know. And we need to make sure that we continue to be engaged, that our ambassadors in both those countries, Tom Barrack and Mike Huckabee, who are both great friends of mine, continue to stay engaged with the leadership to make sure that we avoid any conflict and make sure that our allies do not even think about fighting each other.
Ambassador, before I'll let you get back to work, you got to help me understand a country that I cannot understand, and that is Spain, another NATO country that seems to be going out of its way to be less than helpful.
Yeah, well, what we have right now is all allies have agreed to do more, and it's all because of President Trump's leadership. 2014, annex of Crimea by Russia, the alliance agreed to 2%. By 2024, so an entire 10 years later, 2/3 of our allies were not even spending the 2% they had committed to. Donald Trump gets elected. Not only do we get to the 2%, but now everyone's agreed to 5%, and we have so many allies that are on the path. Spain and a couple other allies are committed to the capabilities. They think they can do it cheaper. The jury's out. But however, we need to make sure that all allies, no matter how close they are to the eastern flank or the perceived threat that Russia presents, that they are investing in their own defense and therefore the collective defense. And we're going to continue to make sure we keep the pressure on all of our allies, especially those that are underperforming right now. But we are watching it very carefully. We're a year into this project, but with President Trump's leadership, I think Spain will come along and meet everything that we expect.